Please do.
Yes, please do. Mark, are you ready?
Yep, ready.
I have 12. We'll go ahead and call this in order. Roll call, please.
Jerza,
Here.
Larson, Osterloo,
Here.
Benny, Schmitz, Sonny,
Here.
Dosher,
Here.
Genslinger.
Here.
We have a quorum.
We have an agenda in front of us. Any conflicts of interest? Hearing none, we'll move on. Approve agenda. Ready for a motion?
So moved. Second.
Moved and seconded that we approve the agenda. Roll call, please.
Osterloo,
Yes.
Sonny,
Yes.
Jerza,
Yes.
Genslinger.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Next item up is the approval of the previous minutes. The minutes have been provided in the packet for you. Any adjustments or corrections?
Move to approve. Second.
Moved and seconded that we approve the previous minutes. Roll call, please.
Sonny,
Yes.
Osterloo,
Yes.
Jerza,
Yes.
Genslinger.
Yes.
Motion carried.
The next meeting looks like it's going to be scheduled 4 weeks from now, the 9th of January.
Move to approve. Second. Second.
Moved and seconded that we approve it. Roll call, please.
Jerza,
Yes.
Osterloo,
Yes.
Sonny,
Yes.
Genslinger.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Next item on the agenda is a plat of Lot 1 of D. Ogredard's First Edition, a subdivision of previously platted Lot 5 in Fiala's Edition, City of Mitchell, Davidson County, South Dakota. Is requested by B&D Enterprises LLC. Mark.
B&D Enterprises requested this. It's following their master plan. I believe they're looking to build beginning of next year for this lot 1.
Looks pretty clean.
Yep.
Move to approve. Second.
Moved and seconded that we approve the plat as presented. Any further comments? Anybody from the audience? Roll call, please.
Osterloo,
Yes.
Sonny,
Yes.
Jerza,
Yes.
Genslinger.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Next item up is a plat of lots 1AA and 1AB, a subdivision of Lot 1A of Prairie View subdivision in the northeast quarter of Section 16, T103 North, R60 West of the 5th Prime Meridian, Davidson County, South Dakota, as requested by DT Builders LLC and Morgan Feeler LLP. Mark.
Applicant is looking to parcel off their existing into 2 different lots. As you can see, the building will get split in half. I shouldn't say half, it'll be split down the middle of the building. We did request some easements to be shown. They're going to be explaining the easements more on the master deed. Don Peterson from Morgan Feelers here that can probably explain what they're doing a little bit better.
No?
So, Morgan Thieler purchased, we've been out there for over 10 years, but we were leasing from DICE, or DT Builders, and we purchased the north portion, I think that's Unit A. And so we prepared a condominium, we recorded a master deed, we had a plat, but the plat did not include the parking lot. It had the parking lot all owned by DT Builders. And so part of this is to separate that the outside as well as the inside into 2 separate lots. Then there's a set of easements, so the garbage area, the stuff that's hatch, and it's not on this plat particularly, but we're amending the master deed that then goes in and addresses the easements for where the air conditioning units are, where the sign is on the south side of the building, and where the garbage area is on the north side of the building. So what will happen is we'll record the plat. SPN had talked to representatives of the city and the treasurer, or excuse me, the register of deeds and over at the county. And they're fine with, so to the master deed, there's 3 exhibits. It shows this, the outside with the easement areas. It then shows the inside, what's on the first floor, and then it shows the basement or the bottom floor.
I imagine John probably has some concern, or maybe some concern with splitting the building in 2. Is there a 2-hour wall there? Not that we need to.
I don't know
worry
what,
about that today.
it's a B up against a B. I mean, that's after the fact, the code doesn't talk about separate builders, you know, or separate owners, really.
No concern there.
You'd have to, yeah, I'd have to look. Not off the top of my head, I don't see it. Is that building fully sprinkled? I can't remember. Yeah, it's sprinkled, so that's gonna probably wash anything out, because it has a basement in it.
Other comment, questions from this group?
Only on that matter. And this is the second meeting in a row where we've divided buildings in half.
Yeah. So, word isn't unfortunately, but it's really not for this group to determine whether.
Well, it's actually been approved once through here, the plat.
Yeah, and
So-
I'm just asking the question, Don, from my own knowledge, you know. It's unique in the sense that at the last meeting, we split a building in half, and we're doing it again today. And I think there's merit in what Kevin's concern is with John, that, you know, the code obviously comes into play there. So
Right.
I just wanted to know for the group, you know, what are the logistics involved there, and that if it's not our decision to make, then it's not our decision to make. And I don't see any issues approving it. It's just for
Right.
general discussion.
If it was a change of use, then it would be looked at closer if they're having a different
Sure.
occupancy.
Yeah, and if
With
it was
more
new,
to the separation, then we'd have to look at it closer.
if it was new construction over a lot line, you'd be looking at fire separation there likely, right?
Probably.
Yeah. And that's where my question comes in. But again, it's not necessarily for this body, it's just kind of for our own knowledge. So I don't have any concerns myself, but any questions from these guys yet? If not, I'm ready for a motion.
So move.
Yours, I'll second it.
Moved and seconded that we approve the plat. Any other concerns? I don't see anybody in the audience. Hearing none, roll call, please.
Sonny,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Osterloo,
Yes.
Jurza,
Yes.
Genslinger.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thanks,
All
Doc.
right, thank you.
Okay, council on next Monday.
Next item up is a plat of Lot 12 of Track I, Wild Oak Golf Club addition to the City of Mitchell, Davidson County, South Dakota, as requested by Firesteel Links LLC. Mark?
Applicant would like to plat off one more lot out there. I believe this is going for MTC to build another house out there. It's following along their master plan, has their utility and drainage easements on the south, on all the sides of it. No concerns from Public Works.
What do you think, guys?
Move to approve.
Second.
Moved and seconded that we approve the plat. Any other questions, concerns, anybody from the audience? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Jurza,
Yes.
Osterloo,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Sonny,
Yes.
Genslinger.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Is there any other business to come before this board?
Yes. We were briefly talking about it before we got into the meeting. We're switching over to a different website base for our agenda center. So we'll be sending out email to all of you that has Civic Plus. It's not junk or spam. Please actually sign into that, so that way you will be able to get onto the website and be able to make your own notes and stuff like that on there. If you bring a tablet or something, then you can just look at it on your computer as we're going through. I can still send out PDF to you. I've talked to a couple of you about it already for that. Another thing, I was reached out to by a local person wanting us to amend our ordinance for telecommunication towers. She would like us to put something in our ordinance pertaining to if there's another tower within a mile, they have to use that tower if there's space available for it. We don't have anything in our ordinance for that right now. A couple other cities around say that, you know, a mile in residential or a half a mile in residential. talking with legal, doing it for the reason that they want to do it probably isn't the correct reason to do it, because it kind of creates a monopoly just by doing it that way. For their gain is what they're asking for it to be done by. But I have to bring it to you to see what your thoughts or concerns are on something like that. I mean, really all we have in our ordinance is the tower height, a tower site, a telecommunication tower, and then in each individual district, if it's allowed, permitted, conditional use, and the height. Most of them are going to be, 65-foot height. If they put one in there, then they're going to need a variance to go over to the 100-foot, which would be something standard for a regular variance. But it's the distance-wise, if we want to start regulating distance from one to another. And this is just for big towers, not small cell facilities, because we already have something in our ordinance for those.
Yeah, I guess from my perspective, I'm not really in favor of picking winners and losers. And if it's gonna benefit somebody just because, I need to see a legit reason to do it. That's my perspective.
Do we follow something similar to that cell towers stuff or anything? Not.
What do you mean?
Well, you said something about we have the ordinance or something about the cell tower. Do we kind of go off of that? Or small cell?
Our small cell?
Yeah.
No, I don't think. There's two different ways you could go about it. You could create an entirely new part in the ordinance for just telecommunication towers and take it out of each spot and put a small cell facility section in the ordinance. Or you could write it into the definition or in each district as to if there's going to be distance spacing that's has to meet.
And
But how
to,
do you do that when a district isn't a mile wide?
Yeah.
well, another answer to John's question, small cell towers, you're talking, something that's maybe a half a foot by a foot that you attach to a light pole. And those are spaced, I don't know how far, but Justin wrote that ordinance a while back to fit that unique niche. Because that, to me, that's completely separate from an actual tower, because it's just a completely different use and type of
Well, I was
cell.
kind of using that as a guideline of towers.
Sure.
That's something we need to look at. Or
We may have separation, we don't have a
Right.
moratorium on, you have, that's no different saying if you live close to XYZ gas station, you have to buy your gas there.
And our protection for that is, I believe it's a conditional use in all
Not in all.
industrial, maybe would be,
Industrial, it's allowed. Some TWC, I think. There's a couple of them where they're
Permitted.
Yeah. But it'd be on the height, though. That would be the variance that they'd have to apply for after the fact.
So the question is do we add language into the ordinance that would stipulate distance requirements?
Distance requirements and having to use that tower if there's space available, or request to use that tower if there's space available.
Rather than another tower.
Correct.
Mark, I remember a citizen coming to the council and in opposition to expansion of 5G network. Is this one way to get their wants met by restricting what you're talking about, restricting towers?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
Yeah, I guess I can jump in on that, and I really don't see it that way. Really what the requirement is, if you were to put that in place, is that they go to a different tower. I mean, that doesn't stop that signal from being broadcast or used or anything, it just might change the location of it. And if you're talking about a 1 mile boundary, then, it's probably not a significant change in how that's going to propagate throughout the community. So I don't see it having any impact on that. The only thing it would do is maybe alter the location a little bit. And then I might as well, while I'm talking, just circle back to the small cell bit a little bit. There aren't firm restrictions in there about distance requirements on that. We structured it so that co-locations would be preferred. So if there was an ability to do that, that would be the first choice. But depending on the needs of the network, they're not prevented from being able to locate one at a different location. So,
And those towers will come eventually, and ultimately, come before the committee anyway.
And just going by, when I listen to the city council, you guys bring up the fact about other cities. You know, what are they doing? What they're compared to? Have we done anything like?
I've looked at a couple other cities, and they have to be, a tower has to be 300 feet from a residential district, or it has to be a half a mile from another tower. So there are other towns that do have verbiage in their ordinance for that. We just don't have it in ours at all. With the 5G versus regular, your small cell facilities are going to be the ones that are going to be pushing the 5G, not these big towers, because the big towers are spread out so far that sure you might get some 5G from them, but you have to be so close with 5G that it's every 300 feet to actually be true 5G to be able to keep picking it up.
Is this a solution in search of a problem? I mean, is it really a problem right now?
No, it's somebody wanting to put up a tower, but somebody won't sign a contract unless there's verbiage in their contract that says the city will do this. Need language in city ordinance to state they can't put up a tower within 1 mile if there's a tower with space available. That's what they want the language in their contract to say.
They want to put up a tower and then, of course, everybody else puts up their stuff on.
Yeah, they want us to create a monopoly for them.
Yep.
Well, thanks.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Those are the only two things that I'd bring up.
Okay. Anything else from anybody else? All right. If you need to address the City Planning Commission on an item that was not on the agenda, excluding personnel items, please come forward to the podium, state your name and your concern. Presentations are limited to 3 minutes. Items will be considered, but no action will be taken at this time. I see nobody coming to the podium. We are adjourned.